What's up guys, Kevin here, and I'm actually making this video a little bit late because I got my tax refund 3 days ago. And not just that, but technically that tax refund was late because I've gotten my tax refund as soon as January 31st. Yes, it is possible to get your tax refund before the end of January. And when I posted this up, a bunch of my friends reached out and asked, how is this possible? What's my secret? And honestly, it's really simple to do. So in this video, I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I recommend in order to get your tax refund as quickly as possible. Some really easy and cheap or free steps that you can follow to get this done. So let's talk about it. So a lot of you might know that the IRS doesn't actually open up for taxes until a certain day of the year. For example, this year they didn't actually start reviewing taxes until January 27th. But did you know that you can file your taxes before then and submit them? A lot of people have reached out to me and told me that they thought if they did that, it would get lost in the system or get held up in some warehouse, and they didn't want to get messed up, so they would wait until the IRS started accepting taxes before they actually sent them in the mail. But you definitely get a better position in line if you submit it earlier. Now, my goal is always to submit it by January 21st. That didn't actually happen this year, but that is my goal. But even though I didn't submit it by January 21st, I still received my taxes in 7 days. And that's 7 actual days, not business days. I guess in business days, it was technically 5, but exactly a week. A week from me filing my taxes, I had my tax refund in my account. So I definitely say the sooner the better, even though if you check the IRS's website, they don't actually acknowledge that. They just give you a span of time that it might take when you submit your paperwork. But I do feel like the later you wait, the bigger the queue is going to get, more people are going to be submitting their taxes, and the longer it's going to take between the time you submit and the time you get your money back. So if you're one of the people that can file it earlier when it's a little bit lighter on their system, then it's going to take a lot less time for your refund to be submitted to you. Now, I know some people tell me, well, they're still waiting on a W-2 or a 1098 or some tax form so they can submit their taxes. And I would argue that those forms are completely redundant. Yes, it does help, but if you already know the numbers, then you don't really need the forms to tell you what to put into your taxes. So for example, if you're getting a W-2 from your employer, you can simply look at your last pay stub at the end of the year and see how much money you made, how much taxes you paid. All of that will be included on your pay stub. So you don't need a W-2 form to reiterate that same information. All you're doing is calculating how many payments and how much money total you made during that calendar year. The same thing for like a 1098 or any interest form. If you get a year-end tax statement or a year-end summary, you can use that to calculate how much interest you paid on your mortgage or on your student loans or anything else that would qualify as a tax deduction. So again, it's fairly simple to understand if you just track your work throughout the year. Now keep in mind, all of the numbers are counting payments and interest made in that specific calendar year. So for example, if you made money from YouTube, you know that your payments come a month after the month that you actually got the views. So all of the views you got in December will actually get paid out in January. So in that same sense, you're not going to be calculating how much money you made in views from January 1st to December 31st. You're actually going to look at how much money you made from views from December 1st to November 30th. And that's how much you made in payments in the actual next calendar year. So again, just make sure you're doing the math right and you'll have no problem filling out your taxes without the actual forms. Now, the next thing, again, if it's not obvious, is e-file. If you can e-file, it is much faster than sending it through snail mail and asking the post office to walk it over to the IRS. The only limiting factor here will be the speed of Al Gore's internet. So when you hit send, it'll all but instantly be received by the IRS, and you'll pretty quickly get a confirmation that they've received it and accepted it. So it's much faster. It's also much more secure. You have less of a chance compared to mail where it can get lost or stolen or, any other issues that happen with normal mail going through the post office. This way you make sure that it goes directly to them, it gets to the right location, and it's going to be received very quickly. So e-file if at all possible. And another tip, e-file is always free, regardless of the service that you use. It's free, and you can even go directly to the IRS website and e-file for free as well. So TurboTax, H&R Block, any service will let you e-file for free, or just go to the IRS's website and submit it through there. Now, the last thing is setting up your tax refund to be direct deposited. And this is, again, free, very simple and easy to do. All you have to do is give them a routing number and an account number, and they will directly deposit your money into an account, just like a regular paycheck. I know some people like getting a paper check, so this is a little bit of personal preference, but if your priority is getting it quick, direct deposit will be the fastest way. And again, just like e-filing, it's the most secure, and make sure it goes to your account instantly. There's no chance of a check being lost or stolen or anything like that. You'll get it directly to your account. Now, it doesn't necessarily need to be a bank account. Some prepaid cards or other online services can provide an account number and routing number that will allow it to get your direct deposit. So it really just depends on the service you use. But at a minimum, they do need those two things, a routing number and an account number, and then they can send that money to that account. Also, there's an option to split your tax refund into different accounts. You can put them into up to 3 different accounts depending on what you want to do. So if you want to put it in a checking and a savings, for example, you use form 8888, and that allows you to submit multiple account numbers and exactly how you want it split so they can send it to 2 different accounts at the same time. And did I mention it's free? Like a lot of these things, it is free, and a lot of people just assume because it's electronic or requires internet that it costs money, but the IRS is genuinely trying to make this the best way for you to submit your taxes by making it easier, free, and secure. So I highly recommend using these electronic services to get your taxes done. Now, the only thing I'd recommend in here that costs money is if you are concerned about your taxes, feel free to hire somebody to do them for you or use an online service that helps ask all the right questions and double check your work. If you have a mistake, that will absolutely delay your taxes because a lot of times they already know the numbers. They can do the math pretty quickly when you submit your numbers. And if there are any errors in that, then that will obviously delay your refund because they're going to have to go back through, redo all the math, and determine what you're actually owed or what you owe. So make sure you do it right the first time, and that'll make this process a lot more simple. But yeah, hopefully this is pretty straightforward and explains how you can get your tax refund as quick as possible. If you guys have any other tips or tricks, definitely reach out and let me know. But I think that basically sums it all up. So thank you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.